It's a bulky material. We always talk about coal in terms of million tons, unlike other minerals, where we talk even in kgs. So the task becomes very heavy, and all the modes that are possible should be kept in view, should be utilized to the best possible to achieve this task. We are going to deal with the conveyor transport. That's supposed to be the cheapest, most efficient, and probably the solution for first mile connectivity. We're going to talk about riverine transport as well. It's not very promising, but to the extent it can contribute its might, that will be very welcome addition to the capacity. Mr. Parthi talked about Indian Coal Forum. Indian Coal Forum is basically a think tank devoted to the interest of coal, not only in India, even abroad. And Ms. Mitchell's presence and her association with us, that is a very important contributor to our effort for becoming international. Now it serves the Indian coal industry as a think tank, as I said, and it takes up the causes where the industry has problems, and it also develops the way out from problems. We take it up with the government. To a large extent, governments have been cooperative, and hopefully, going forward, our contribution will be more pronounced. Having said this, we do hope that people who are interested in coal, people who are associated with coal, they may find it to be useful to get associated with Indian Coal Forum, and we welcome you. Once we know that you are interested, the things will be put in motion so that your entry into Coal Forum becomes easier and more convenient. So I'll stop at this stage. I think we have Mr. Michel to hear. And thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much in anticipation that you'll be with us throughout this conference, and you'll participate in the interactive sessions so that we get your views and we put it at our recommendations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for introducing the subject to the audience. May I now request Madam Michelle Minouk, the CEO of Future Coal, to give the special address, but before she comes to the dais, let me introduce her to you. Michelle Minouk is the Chief Executive of Future Coal, formerly World Coal Association, which everybody knows. She has held the role since July 2019. Previously, she was head of the strategy, government and communication for Europe, Asia, and Africa for the multinational company Orica. Her career spans over 25 years in senior role in the energy, oil and gas, and mining industries in both developed and developing markets. She has also held non-executive director positions in energy and healthcare sectors, and early in her career worked in policy and public affairs for the government of Western Australia. She is looking to foster international collaboration and promote real clean coal technologies and innovation solutions to the world's challenges. She holds a Bachelor's of Art in Psychology and a postgraduate qualification from the University of Western Australia. So, Madam Michelle will look for you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And good morning to our distinguished guests, colleagues, partners, friends in the audience. Again, what an honor to be invited. And once again, this esteemed Coal Log India conference, I am so grateful for my partners, for my advisors in this fabulous forum. It's with great gratitude to the Indian Coal Forum, your leadership in continuing to host this event and also foster collaboration, not just amongst this industry, but forge those ties internationally is certainly commendable. And I'm not sure if people in this room appreciate the reach that the Indian Coal Forum has actually had for this country through this platform. And today's theme, modernization of the coal supply chain, could not be more relevant. As we gather here today, a city that has long been central to the coal industry in India, we must recognize the urgent need not only to modernize our operations, but also to redefine the narrative around coal. And it's in recent years that the global discourse on coal has too often been reduced to a single narrative, and one that centers on and advocates for the elimination of coal. And it's important to communicate that whilst India has a very pragmatic approach to coal, the effect of this narrative globally actually does impact us here. And that's why it's so incredibly important to have the leadership of Indian coal. This narrative, as we appreciate, is not only incomplete, but it's misleading. Coal has been and continues to be the backbone of economic development for many nations, particularly in the developing world. And it is imperative that we shift this conversation to reflect the full reality of coal's contribution, not just in global energy security, but also economic growth. And we must emphasize that it is not merely that source of energy, it is a critical resource that underpins industrialization, job creation, and the achievement of development goals for many emerging and developing nations. So this narrative must evolve from one of exclusion to one of modernization and inclusion. And this change is actually not necessary, it's urgent. Modernization in the coal industry is not about a singular solution, but rather about recognizing coal's evolving role within this broader ecosystem. So for many nations, the path forward lies in technologies which provide cleaner and more efficient ways to utilize coal. And this aligns with the global drive towards carbon neutrality. That India recognizes that coal gasification is a powerful means to self-reliance is actually once again forward-thinking, commendable, because this transforms coal into a cleaner burning amount of products, reducing emissions while maximizing the utility of this critical resource. This approach enables coal to be viewed not just as a traditional fuel, but as part of a larger ecosystem where various technologies work in concert to harness the potential of what is ultimately a multi-commodity product. Yesterday, we heard that $20 billion goes to importing chemicals. So the idea that we can actually create that and harness the potential of coal in this country is incredibly important. This is modernization in action, and it involves the integrated and sophisticated advanced thinking and advanced technologies which reduce emission, enhance efficiency, and increases the overall sustainability of coal production. Through advanced technologies and innovative approaches, coal can continue to contribute to industrial development, job creation, and the achievement of global environmental goals. This is merely not a technology shift, It represents a necessary transformation in how we view and utilize coal in the 21st century landscape. At Future Coal, we have also evolved. We are the global ambassador for coal. We are the only multilateral and agnostic organization leaving geopolitics at the door and representing the entire coal value chain, the players, the responsible players who are committed to the sustainable practices that are necessary for our industry. Our mission is to ensure coal is understood. It is vital, it is versatile, and it is a sustainable, natural, and critical resource. Underpinned by our sustainable coal stewardship philosophy, which I believe is a slide that we'll be putting up shortly, we educate and advocate for coal's economic and environmental benefits. This demonstrates how we extract more value per ton of coal using technologies and processes that promote energy efficiency and emissions reduction. Here, the coal value chain should recognize itself in the opportunities it has to contribute to this technological and innovation shift. The philosophy in sustainable coal stewardship is built around three key areas: pre-combustion, combustion, and beyond combustion. In pre-combustion, we focus on the abatement opportunities, and let me just say, when we refer to abatement as the Future Coal Global Alliance, we refer to abatement in its scientific definition, not the way it's been defined, which is simply CCS. And this is actually incredibly important because, as we've heard, there are very many different ways and different paths, not just to carbon neutrality, but to emissions reduction. So it's quite important we take a much broader and scientific definition of abatement. And here, in pre-combustion, the mining and transportation sectors of the coal value chain have many ways to address emissions and waste at the earliest stages. They can significantly reduce the environmental impact of coal before it even reaches the combustion stage. But combustion, the second area, this really looks at and involves the deployment of modern power and heat technologies capable of achieving high efficiencies and abating up to 99% of stack emissions with available technologies today. This is a statistic that Future Coal uses consistently and is not contestable by any because it is a fact. It's quite important that we, as the coal value chain, continue to remind people of the possibility, the legitimate choice that coal power has, that abated coal power has in today's society and in future society. This is where the true potential of coal can actually be realized. By harnessing the advanced technologies, we can ensure that coal remains the viable and responsible energy source in a carbon-constrained world. And the last area, beyond combustion, perhaps the most exciting